Look at this map. At first glance, it seems like any other global powers map. But look closer. This map hides a deadly trap for China's rise. Mountains, deserts, and choke points carve out zones of vulnerability that even China's resources and GDP can't fix. If we zoom in here, we see buffer zones controlled by rival powers. These are not just lines on a map, but strategic barriers impacting China's military and economic reach. This hidden geography may doom China's global ambitions more than any army or alliance. China's geography is its primary adversary. The towering Himalayas to the southwest act as a natural fortress, but also block direct access to South Asia and the Indian Ocean. The vast Gobi Desert cuts off the northern frontiers, creating harsh terrain for movement and supply lines. Eastwards, the lack of warm water ports limits year-round naval operations, and forcing China to rely heavily on a few vulnerable choke points like the Strait of Malacca. This narrow maritime bottleneck is a constant threat to China's vital trade routes that fuel its GDP growth. Additionally, buffer zones in Central Asia are controlled by potential adversaries or unstable allies, restricting China's ability to project power westward. Geography here is not just a physical reality, but a strategic choke point constraining expansion. In response, China's strategy revolves around mitigating these geographic barriers. The Belt and Road Initiative aims to create alternative trade routes bypassing vulnerable maritime choke points, digging deep into Central Asia and Europe to secure buffer zones through economic ties and infrastructure. Militarily, China invests heavily in border infrastructure, building roads and tunnels through mountain passes to improve troop mobility. The artificial islands in the South China Sea serve as offensive and defensive outposts to control vital trade routes. Diplomatic alliances, though fragile, are crafted to neutralize some buffer zones. Still, geography forces China into constant competition over remote and hostile terrains, stretching supply lines and complicating defense. Looking ahead, this geographic reality means China faces persistent strategic limitations despite economic and military advances. The choke points like the Strait of Malacca will remain vulnerabilities susceptible to blockades or conflict. Buffer zones in Central Asia will continue to be contested spaces with shifting alliances. Mountainous borders will slow any large-scale military movement, forcing China into defensive postures or conflict at costly fronts. Economic pressures from insecure trade routes may slow GDP growth relative to expectations. Demographically, an aging population within these geographic constraints could strain resources further. China's ambitions to dominate globally will grow, but so will the geographic and strategic traps, ultimately dooming full realization of those ambitions within a decade. China's geography is a silent but relentless adversary shaping its strategic ambitions. No economic powerhouse or military buildup can fully overcome mountains, deserts, choke points, and buffer zones that restrict its reach. Understanding these geographic realities is essential to grasp why China's global rise faces intrinsic limitations. Stay tuned to Global Gambit for deeper insights into how geography continues to define the strategies of great powers.